do this right. So here we go.
4 years, Fish has hawked a good game. Now he's putting it on the line against you. It's Thursday Night Throwdown, hosted by the sporty diva herself, Pamela Michelle. And it's next.
And that's how we're supposed to do it. Everybody, welcome to Thursday Night Throwdown. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sports Jam Network presents the main event of the evening, 5 exciting rounds of top-notch sports debating. The judges for the evening are going to be myself, and I'm joined by Chad, the Buffalo Cetera. Chad, how are you doing tonight?
I am so psyched about this. I haven't seen a matchup that compares to Rocky and Ivan Drago. This is going to be a smackdown. Fish, you better watch out and hope you fly in that American flag, because I think you're going to get smacked tonight.
All right. Well, let me introduce the players. The challenger fighting out of the blue and green Seattle Seahawks corner from 12 for 12s and double overtime radio. Please welcome to the show my friend, Mr. Paul Beyer. Paul,
yay!
How are you doing tonight?
Great. I'm doing my own audience right now.
I love it.
Well, hey, by the way, was that the band that played that music in the opening? Was that the same one that did the intro to War Games, the movie, back in '85 or so? I mean, that was awesome.
Thank you. I don't know. I would have to ask my tech guy that, but
Okay.
that will definitely be a question I ask him.
Get on it. The Whopper's ready to go tonight.
I will get on it. And, of course, as you know, the host of the show out of the purple and gold Lakers corner, from CelebrityLoop.com writer, MLB insider for Sports X Radio, which can be heard on Yahoo Sports. And, of course, my partner in crime every Monday night, the man who Paul is going to try to knock down a few pegs, my partner in crime, Andrew Fish Fain. Fish, how are
you? You? The one thing you forgot is my undefeated 1-0 record so far.
Oh, excuse me. He is 1-0 defeating Mr. Tim McTire last week, former Cleveland Brown. Is that better, my friend?
Well, see, when you say it's a former Cleveland Brown, that's not really fair because, everybody beats the Browns.
Oh, my goodness. This is true. Now, guys, this is how it works. Paul, as our challenger, you get to decide first which side you want to debate on in the odd rounds. Each time you will have 3 minutes on our selected topics. After that, Chad and I, we're going to play devil's advocate, and we're going to have you guys strengthen your cases for you to try to win this round. And, of course, fans, if you want to get in on this as well, we're going to read your tweets live on air. So if you're siding with Paul or if you're siding with Fish, tweet us at Thursday Night TD, and we're going to read those tweets live on the air. So when the bell rings, gentlemen, that's when you zip your lip. Are there any questions?
No, I just hope that when I'm making him cry, it doesn't add to the water problems they have in Seattle from all that rain.
Oh my God, it's like 80 degrees today. But thank you, anyways.
Oh, yeah, it's my pleasure. And just to make Chad feel better, if he dies, he dies.
Well said.
I must break you, my friend. Let's do this.
All right. Well, gentlemen, let's try to keep the low blows to a minimum. So if we're ready, in the immortal words of LL Cool J, I'm going insane, starting a hurricane, releasing pain, letting you know that you can't gain, I maintain, unless you say my name. So we're going to get it started right about now. First topic.
Yeah.
The first topic is going to be, let's see, what do I want to do for first topic? I think we're going to go NHL. So we're going to go NHL. The topic's going to be better tradition, the handshake at the end of the NHL playoff series, or the seventh inning stretch. What is this better sports tradition? Paul, as our guest, you get to choose the side that you want to be on. Which side would you like?
I have one word for you. America. 7th inning stretch. Let's play ball.
All right, so we're going to get it started. You've got your 3 minutes right now.
Well, I feel like a lot of pressure. Is there like a Jeopardy clock going right now? Okay.
Yes.
All righty. So here's the deal, folks. Look, handshakes are all well and good, and especially after you beat each other up to basically absolutely pulverize them to you're bloody and bruised. But the fact of the matter is, this is America. The Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks and the 7th inning stretch, that's what this is all about. And I'll tell you right now, if you haven't been to a game at Wrigley Field for a day, go sit out in the bleachers. But beforehand, you got to hit Murphy's out in the outfield, get a couple of pregame beers, go out there and play the on-the-mound game, passing the cup, putting the dollar into a bunch of random strangers. Then all of a sudden, it's the crescendo. The old 7th inning pops up halfway through. Harry Carey, God rest his soul, would get up, and now you get a bunch of crazy, maybe they're a Chicago Wrigley Cubs fan, but they get out there and they start singing, "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." The point of the matter is that there's nothing like it in America to go to a game, a ball game, play the 7th inning stretch, have all the pomp and circumstance, halfway to 2 sheets to the wind because you've been boozing the whole game, out in the sun, and then sit there and go, God, don't you love this place? Don't you love America? So when you say, are we going to compare a bunch of guys on skates, mind you, shaking hands, which, hey, I got no problem with Lord Stanley, okay? He's an old man, and that cup's pretty old too. But the fact of the matter is that baseball's older, all right? And 7th inning stretch is all about America. So at the end of the day, if we're going to sit here going back and forth talking about what's better, I'm going to go with turkey dinner. I'm going to go with fireworks. I'm going to go with the Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria. Folks, it's all about being Americans.
All right. Well, Fish, you obviously know what side of the topics you're going to get. So the NHL playoff handshake is going to be yours. I'll give you a few seconds to think about how you want to respond to what Paul said. And you can go right now.
Are you kidding me? Could there be anything more arbitrary than just saying, hey, you know what? We're in the middle of the game. Let's just throw in some people standing up and singing. 7th inning stretch? Maybe you have it in the 5th inning because by the 7th inning, it's over already. It's absolutely ridiculous. There's no point to it. Maybe 50 years ago it was good. Nowadays, not a chance. That handshake is so incredibly cool. For 7 games, these guys have been pounding the holy hell out of each other, absolutely despise each other, and then we show what good sports we are by shaking each other's hands at the end. That's the lesson we want to teach our kids. We want to teach them, you know what, it doesn't matter when you're on the field to play, you play to win, but when it's over, you stay friends. It's all in good sportsmanship, and that's what it's about. And don't give me this America crap. There are more teams in America playing hockey than there are in any other country in the NHL. So there's only 5 Canadian teams, and the rest are in America. Well, it's now American tradition. So you can't tell me that handshake doesn't give you chills every single time. You think back to when Claude Lemieux was hammering those Detroit Red Wings, and after that series, what did they do? They shook hands like men because they knew what happened on the ice, stayed on the ice, and afterwards they were gentlemen. They shook hands. 7th inning stretch, really, buy me peanuts and Cracker Jacks? Not anymore. In this day and age, you can't even afford to buy that crap. So don't give me this buy me stuff at the ballpark. It's not about capitalism. It's about sportsmanship, and that's what the NHL is all about, and that's what the handshake is about at the end of every round of the playoffs.
All right. Well, Fish, you did not even use all 3 minutes, so you know what? I'm actually pretty impressed with that. And I do have a question for you. Good sportsmanship, really? Did you watch that Bruins game? Because Milan Lucic was just basically like, good game, I'm going to kill you. So much that they made T-shirts about it. Okay, so how is that good sportsmanship? Response?
Because he absolutely got lambasted in the press for doing so, because everybody knows that's not the way you're supposed to act. Be a man, nat up, you lost, so what? That's the way it goes. You shake hands and you say, you know what, we'll get you next year, and that's what you have to do. He got lambasted for being that way, and nobody likes a sore loser.
Okay, Fish, but do you think the seventh inning stretch is about camaraderie at the games?
Not at all.
I mean,
the seventh inning stretch is a way for them to mark the time when they stop selling beer. That's all it is now.
Well, I know at
Pamela,
Fenway Park we played Sweet Caroline, so I mean it's about
Pamela,
it's about bonding.
You stole my thunder. Paul, you mentioned Wrigley Field a lot, an American tradition, in your argument, but Pamela just helped you out with Sweet Caroline. What other reason is the seventh inning stretch better than a handshake? You've got Wrigley Field and Fenway. What other traditions make the seventh inning what it is?
Oh, like I said, it's a time to, first of all, hug the drunk neighbor next to you that you don't know. And the other thing, first of all, is this Russia, Fish? Honestly, dude. I mean, you're sitting here talking about America this, bad America that. What's more American than baseball, okay? You're talking about a Canadian sport, my friend. I'm not Canadian. I don't think anyone on this panel is Canadian. So if you want to go play with the Maple Leafs, that's up to you. But the bottom line is this, folks. You come back to, we talk about the cathedrals, the old places, the places that have been around over 100 years, especially for baseball. That's tradition. Okay, yeah, hockey's been played for a while, World Stanley Cup, old and whatnot. But we talk about those great places to go see a ball game. It's like being in the Sistine Chapel. That's what it's like, folks. And then when you sit there and you enjoy that time, that seventh inning stretch is the crescendo of the experience, because then after that, you get to wind down a couple of innings and watch this game end. But again, it's a ritual that you do to show your being an American. I go back to that because it's the experience of a lifetime every time you go to a ball game. If you're going to shake someone's hand, that's all well and good, but you can be Russian. That's Canadian stuff. I don't know.
Great tradition in cathedrals. What are you kidding me? The third oldest ballpark is Dodger Stadium, built in '62. There's no tradition anymore. All those ballparks have gone by the wayside for capitalism, and that's what it's all about, is the almighty dollar and selling. And that's why what they're telling you to do in that song. Buy me peanuts. Buy me Cracker Jacks. BS. It's not about that. You can hug your drunk neighbor in any sport, so don't tell me it's only when you're singing the seventh inning stretch that's happening.
And that is the end of that round. There will be no more further discussions on this topic. Chad, how do you score this round, sir?
Well, I think they both came out very strong. Paul obviously used the American iconism of baseball and tried to play that American role. But the sportsmanship that Fish came back with in hockey and the handshake, boy, Pamela, this one's going to be tough to score. I'm going to have to wait till the end of all 5 rounds to give you my total.
Okay, sounds fair enough. We actually do have a tweet that comes in saying, I think I'm siding with Paul on the baseball argument. Is it coincidence that there's the same amount of stitches as on a rosary bead? Really?
Yeah.
So, I mean, how can you argue with that? Baseball associated with Christ?
Because Sandy Koufax, one of the greatest pitchers of all time, Jewish. Nothing to do with rosary beads.
I'm just reading the tweets from the fans. All right. So we're going to be going to the next question. Fish, you get to take sides on this question. We're going to go a little college football. So the better college program, Alabama or USC? Which side would you like, my friend?
Fight on, my friends. USC, without question, the better of the two programs.
All right, and you will get your time in go.
USC has been playing football longer than Alabama. They first gamed with it back in 1888. They have 796 wins as a program. Think of some of the names that have gone through there. Lynn Swann, Ronnie Lott, Marcus Allen, O.J. Simpson, Reggie Bush. They were the first fully integrated team to ever play a football game in where? Alabama, where they destroyed the Crimson Tide 42-21, the first time an integrated team had ever played there. They were in a record 7 straight BCS appearances. They won won 5 BCS bowls. Not only that, but then what does college prepare you for? Life after football, life after college. What have they done in the NFL? Well, they have more players in the NFL, 484 than any other school, more first-round picks, 77 than any other school, 11 Hall of Famers, not to mention 38 members of the College Football Hall of Fame. USC, by far, the much better program today, yesterday, and beyond, and into the future, because these guys play not only for now, but they play for what they're going to do for the rest of their lives. These guys are phenomenal athletes. It's a phenomenal program. They were voted the team of the decade in the 2000s. They've been phenomenal since then, and they're not stopping now.
Well, all right. Paul, I will give you just a few seconds to think about why Alabama is the stronger of the program, since that is going to be the side that you're on, and you can go now.
I didn't need a couple seconds. It's actually pretty simple. You can, Fishy, by the way, I appreciate the fact that you wanted to bring the NFL to this argument, but she asked you specifically on who's the best college program. That means college. Who plays better in college? So, with all that being said, I think it goes down to metrics. You brought up a lot of numbers, okay, but you didn't really compare it to Alabama. Well, the reality is Alabama has more all-time wins, 838, USC, 796. Claimed national titles, mind you, 15, USC, 11. Okay, I mean, these are the things that matter. I mean, if you want to really talk about it, who's getting it done on the field in college? Okay, yeah, you know, we got Bear Bryant. Yeah, you know, we got Nick Saban. We got all these greats of the different archaic past that we can bring up. But in reality is who's winning all the championship games recently? Granted, my Sooners did beat Bama last year in the Sugar Bowl. Yeah, I was pretty happy about it. I didn't think it was going to happen. But here's the point. Bama has won how many of the last 5 national championships? I think that's a pretty easy one to answer, okay? So when you start bringing up USC, Alabama, I just go right down to the numbers. I can whip it out right here. I'm doing it as we speak. Oh, and by the way, postseason bowl record, did I mention? 34 Alabama wins, USC 32. Game, set, match, my friend.
And we do have a tweet, speaking of your Sooners, Paul, that had come in saying that the Sooners actually have the most wins in all of college sports.
Thank you. Thank you. I knew that. I just didn't want to bring it up in this.
And then it says #just saying. Did you have your mom tweet that?
No, she's not. Well, she is on Twitter. Was it from General Pat Ann?
It actually was not. Chad, do you have any questions for these gentlemen?
Well, and I'll go through this, and I'll let Fish solidify his argument a little bit more. Talk about Heisman trophies, Fish. Who are the names of the Heisman Trophy winners again compared to what Paul is saying with Alabama? Who are the recognizable names that USC has?
Let me list all of the Crimson Tide Heisman Trophy winners, because that list is so long and so illustrious. It's Mark Ingram. 1. That's it. You talk about college programs, the best player in college, out of every single year, since 1892 they've had the best player in college football, USC, 6 Heisman Trophy winners, whether it be Marcus Allen, whether it be Charles White, whether it be Matt Leinart or Carson Palmer. They have the pedigree there. And, you know, you say you want to talk about the NFL. The whole point of college is to get you prepared for life after school. So, you know, if you're great in school, it doesn't matter if you're not doing anything with it afterwards. These guys at USC obviously do something with it afterwards. They get prepared there to take on life in the real world. As I said, 484 players in the NFL. 484. Think about that for a second. They have gotten their guys ready to go.
Okay, Fish. So my question is this. Alabama plays in the SEC. Stronger football conference than where USC plays. Don't you think that gives them the slighter edge on being the better program?
Not at all. The SEC is only the better conference in certain people's minds. It's completely arguable as to what the best conference in college football is. I'm sick and tired of it. You all know how I feel about the SEC and being called the best conference in college football. It's all a load of hooey, because I think you could have made an argument for the Big Ten, the Big 12, or the Pac-12 to be one of the best conferences. And if you're talking about best conference, where did the national championship from this year come from? Oh, the ACC. It wasn't even the SEC. So that argument holds absolutely no water.
Pamela, I want to ask Paul this question to help solidify his argument. Paul, how many national titles has the SEC won in the last 8 years?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's 7 out of 8.
Okay. That's the only question I got.
All right. Fantastic. So, guys.
That's it? That's all you got for me? This is like a pushover deal. I mean, did I even have to show up tonight to take down the fish? What the hell?
You absolutely had to show up. As I said, Alabama, one Heisman Trophy winner, one guy considered to be good enough to be the best player in college football. One, Mark Ingram. And what has he done in the NFL? Well, not a whole lot of much of anything. So apparently Alabama doesn't get, it's great for just the school, doesn't get you prepared for life afterwards, and nobody dies as soon as they leave college.
Again, program doesn't mean individual. And if I'm correct, didn't some guy from Notre Dame with a losing record, mind you, win the Heisman Trophy? Who gives a rat's ass about Heisman trophies when you're talking about winning traditions for a program? That was the question. That's where we lay.
After Bear Bryant left, how many national championships did Mike DeBose get you? How about Dan Shula? How many did, or Mike Shula? How many did he get you? Yeah, that's what I thought. Not a peep. They never made it even to the national championship. You're full of it.
Fedora, checkered hat, fedora.
So, Paul, do you think that USC being portrayed as a class act football school is just media hype then?
I don't know what you mean by that, to be honest with you, because I think I remember watching Johnny Be Good. I'm sure the Fish did, too. And if it wasn't me, they were portrayed as the ones that were taking roids. They were all muscle-bounded, flexors living in the sauna room. They had a bunch of hot chicks, mind you. But that's not what a program's about. It's about winning, not the hot chicks. Although it's not bad to have the hot chicks. So the point I'm getting at here is that USC, we all know, they've been cheating forever. I live up in Seattle. My favorite coach in the world, Pete Carroll, mind you, in the pro side, not the college side, but the pro side. Yeah, I know, he cheated a little bit down there in USC. So, again, we're bringing up all this cheating. What school are we talking about? USC. And
cheaters never win? Is that what your statement is? All right. So that is going to be the... That's the bell. Guys, we're going to take a very short little break, and we will be back in just a few moments.
You think baseball and wrestling couldn't be more different? Well, we at Sports Jam Network are happy to say, wrong. Sports Jam Network presents The Four Quarters, the only baseball and wrestling program on the net. Every week, Rob Steele and Jeff Sneddon bring you the best of both worlds. Whether it's CM Punk making another push for the belt, or Craig Kimbrell coming in to make the save, it could be Triple H making decisions about the square circle, or Mike Trout deciding to go for a triple. Maybe even Alex Rodriguez power slamming Bud Selig. Oops, crossed and too much there. Tune in Tuesdays at noon for The Four Quarters with Jeff Sneddon and Rob Steele, right here on Sports Jam Network.
Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to Thursday Night Throwdown. I'm your host, Pamela Michelle, joined by Chad, the Buffalo Satera, and, of course, our players, Andrew Fish Fain. And we've got my friend Paul from Double Overtime Radio, who's challenging the Fish tonight. We have 2 rounds in the books. And, Chad, you said that you were going to score each round individually and then wait till we get a winner, right?
Yeah,
and actually,
Pamela, that round was intense. Both of them came out with facts. They came out with numbers. They came out with venom coming out of their mouth. I swear, if they were standing next to each other, they both have black eyes. Cut me, Mickey, cut me. It's going in the 3rd round. I can't wait to see what this one's going to be.
Absolutely. And we did get a tweet from that round saying that Johnny Be Good, didn't Jim McMahon try to convince Johnny to go to USC? Wasn't he the pawn in that movie? Paul, would you know that?
First of all, Johnny McMahon went to BYU. Okay, so I don't know if that was the case, madame.
Oh, well, yes, I think that could have been the case. we are going into round 3, and we're going to switch it up. Paul, you get to choose sides on this topic, and it's going to be, since we went football, we're going to go a little bit of tennis on this, and it's going to be the best tennis player. Do you want to argue for Pete Sampras, or would you like to argue for Roger Federer being the best tennis player? Which side would you like?
Well, since this is, first of all, it's been a layup for me so far in this little debate, and I am the consummate American, I'm going to go with Raj. No, just kidding. I'm going with Pete. Come on, kids.
All right, and you are going to get your time right now. Go.
Oh, the tension with this clock thing. All right, what do we got to get into here? Pete Sampras. Pete Sampras. He has won 64 top-level singles titles, including 14, actually, I think it's 15 Grand Slams, if I counted it correctly before. I had to do a lot of preparation for this night. Anyways, the point of the matter is this. You know, he played, his time when he played was earlier than Roger, but still, this guy did more in a shorter period of time. He retired young. Granted, he's got some crazy disease. I don't even know how to pronounce it. But this guy is American. He did some of the most amazing things. First of all, he won 7 out of 8 Wimbledons, if I'm correct. And by the way, why do I keep saying that? Because I'm worried about if I'm actually right? No, I am right. He won every single Grand Slam event in his career. So he has the event Grand Slam, not a Tiger Slam. We won't get into golf tonight. This guy is a consummate American. He won his own tournament, the U.S. Open, 5 times. So, again, 15 championships for this guy. Put it in the bag. $43 million. I'm sure over career earnings, I'm sure if we did some kind of crazy metric, that would maybe project as bigger numbers than Federer, even though it's like half of him. But again, folks, this is America. So we're going with the American, the guy who's carrying that flag all the way around the Arthur Ashe Center when he goes out to Flushing Meadows. And, I mean, I'm going to go with the American. If you're going to go with the Swiss Miss guy, that's your call. And I'm telling you what, I can guess the fish is going to have to do that because I'm American. Pete Sampras, number 1.
Fish, you get to argue for the Roger Federer side, and you can take a few seconds. Would you like a few seconds to try?
I don't need a few seconds. I'm ready to go when you are.
All right, you can go.
You talk about layups, my friend. First of all, I need the audience to know that my esteemed colleague over there made a mistake. Pete Sampras has not won the career slam. He never won the French Open. The best he ever did was make the semifinals in 1996. Never won the French. You can't be the best player ever if you haven't won all 4. Roger Federer has won 4 Australians, 1 French, 7 Wimbledons, and 5 U.S. Opens. He has 17 Grand Slam titles. He has 951 career wins, 78 titles to Pete Sampras' 64. You want to talk about winning percentage, because that way it doesn't matter how many matches they've played. Pete Sampras, 77%. Roger Federer, 81%. How many gold medals has Pete Sampras won in the Olympics? You talk about the grandest stage of all for tennis. 0. Roger Federer has a gold and a silver. He holds the record for the most Grand Slam titles. He holds the record for the most appearances in a finals. He has the record for the most Grand Slam wins at 265, and he is not done yet. Then you look at the competition. Federer playing some of the best players in tennis that would absolutely destroy Pete. Rafael Nadal, when he's healthy, is absolutely a crusher. Let's go with Djokovic, also another crusher that could absolutely destroy Pete Sampras. Federer is playing better competition. He's playing at a higher level. There is absolutely no way that Pete Sampras is a better tennis player than Roger Federer. Federer owns the records to prove it. He has the wins to prove it, and the winning percentage to prove it. You cannot beat him.
All right. Well, Chad?
Oh, I'm ready for this one because I want to serve up one for Paul here. Fish talks about Nadal, Djokovic. He forgot Andy Murray, which has won the last 2 Wimbledons. Let's talk about the competition Pete Sampras had. Who are they, and why are they better than the competition that Roger Federer has?
Okay, now you're getting a little crazy here. I didn't want to have to study up on my tennis to get into all these old-timers. But I'll just say this. I'm about to just hand this whole topic over to the Fish. I actually want to give him a W on this one. And the reason is because I was wrong about the French Open. He's exactly right. Touché, my friend. But this is the bottom line. I didn't take this guy because he had better stats. I took him because he's American. And if you want to go with some other commie living over there in Europe land, well, that's your call, my friend. I'm going to go with the guy who's sitting next to me, eating hot dogs, drinking a beer. Granted, he's got some really hot wife, which that's a whole nother story. But, he's got some diseases and stuff. He's not healthy right now. That's the guy I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with the guy he's the Cinderella story, okay? And if you want to go with those Europeans, because you're definitely into Canada tonight and all this other stuff, I'm going to go with America, and that's who I'm going to stick with. So, granted, you decide there, judges, but I'm going to go and stick with my hometown friend.
And actually, we did get a tweet from SportsFix, and it says, seriously, you have, I guess, Roger Federer's wife is Mirka Federer, and you have Bridget Wilson. No contest, Sampras wins due to the hotness of his wife.
Bingo.
So,
Billy Madison. Great movie.
Hot for teacher. That's what I'm saying. All right. Well,
I'm just kidding. That was a little low. Family show.
We tried to make it a family show.
You have to remember, and as much as I love you, my friend, you made yet another mistake because you said Roger Federer was a commie. He's not. He's from Switzerland. They are neutral for everything. And I did not have the choice. Both times that you took the Americans or America, I didn't have a choice at who I had to take. I just chose what was put. I took what was put in front of me, and you know what?
That's the bell. We do have somebody calling in, and I would like to get their opinion on what we've done so far. So I'm going to bring them on the air. They're from 361 area code. Caller, thank you so much. Is it your mom, Paul? Caller, thank you so much for calling into Thursday Night Throwdown. How are you tonight? Hello?
Yeah, they must be a fan of Paul's because they realize that Paul stands no chance, so they really don't want to embarrass themselves or say anything.
My mom.
Hello. Say hi, Mom.
Give her a break.
Well, at least your mom will always love you, win or lose. You got that going for you.
All right, well, caller,
give him that last round. Well, what do you do?
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, how are you tonight?
I'm fine, thank you.
And
this is
what would you like to chime in on? Go ahead.
I think it's a wonderful debate. I'm really enjoying it.
Thank you so much. So far, who are you siding with?
Well, of course, my son.
It is
but it's always
slam dunk. Booyah.
Yes, absolutely. Slam dunk. But I really am enjoying it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Well, you raised your son right because I tell you, I never want to take on a tomato can in this, and he is absolutely brilliant. He's a tough battle. I'm glad there's still 2 rounds to go because anyone can still win. He has done a phenomenal job, and his show, I'm sure, is absolutely wonderful as well.
Look at that.
Well, thank you.
Well, I'm going to put you on hold.
And may the best man win.
Exactly. May the best guy win. I'm going to put you on hold so you can enjoy the rest of the debate, and I appreciate you listening and you calling in.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, well.
This thing's over.
Game, set, match. I mean, come on, the mom calls in. You have to kind of give a little bit of support, but
what do you got going for Night Fish? Come on, buddy.
Pamela, you've taken the show to the next level. You say this is a family show. Really, Paul? You brought in your mom to try to win the debate. Lovely lady, sounds great, but come on, Paul. You're pulling up all the sleeves and all the tricks here. Fish,
Dude, I don't know how she got the phone number. I didn't give her. I swear, I didn't give her the phone number. I don't know how she even called in the show.
Well, we love the interaction, and we love the support, and we love the fact that you guys...
And anytime she wants to call in, she's more than welcome. And I meant what I said. I don't want to take any tomato cans, and you've made this a battle, and I'm glad we got 2 rounds left.
Oh, absolutely. And they are going to be some very good rounds. We do have the last question before we get to our fun pop pop culture question. And Fish, you get to choose the side you want to take on. The NFL retired players lawsuit just recently happened with who's responsible for the players being informed of taking painkillers in their injuries. Should the players be informed, or should it be just the physical responsibility of the NFL teams and their doctors to inform these players? Which side would you like to be on?
I am going to take the player side on this one.
Okay, and you can go.
Well, obviously everybody knows that football is a tough sport, and football players are expecting to get things like twisted ankles, broken ankles, knee surgeries, back surgeries, whatever. Those are all expected. What they're not expecting is when they're done with their careers to have to undergo dialysis once a week because their kidneys are failing because of all the painkillers they were given and told were absolutely safe and would have no issues. And sure, yeah, they could have gone to their own doctors to check it all out, but if they do that, you think they're really going to be playing the next week? No, you're going to have to listen to the team doctor, and yeah, you may be a 24-year-old, 25-year-old, you may be a man and know what you're supposed to do and put it in your body, but when they tell you this is what you're going to do, you listen to your team because you could very easily lose your job, lose your position, and then your livelihood is gone. So you're going to listen to what they say, you're going to do everything you can to make sure you're staying on the field and you come out and play next week because, and I hate to mix my metaphors, but no football player wants to get Wally pipped, get benched for one game, and all of a sudden their career is over because the guy who took that spot becomes much better. So you never want to give up that spot. They say there's the unwritten rule that you don't lose a job to injury, and that's a load of hooey. Just ask Drew Bledsoe if he lost his job due to injury to a guy named Tom Brady. I think he did. So no matter what happens, you want to make sure you're staying on that field, whatever it takes. And when the team doctor tells you, yeah, it's safe, because that's what they were told to say, you're going to do everything they tell you to do.
All right, and that was a little below the belt because, Fish, you know how I feel about Drew Bledsoe, so it was a little below the belt on my part.
Pamela,
I thought you were going to say Wally Pipp.
I take that as a shot against Tom Brady, not Drew Bledsoe, so
no,
I forgive
know,
Fish on that one.
It's all right. I forget. It just pains me the fact that he lost his job to Tom Brady. I think that's where I'm going with that. It's not so much a knock on Drew Bledsoe, so I had to rephrase that question.
Clean, they're ready to go.
Yes, exactly. Paul, you get the opposite side, and you can start right now.
For some reason, I knew the Fish was going to take the player side on this, and it seems it just goes with everything else he's done tonight, so might as well go. Here's the bottom line, okay? And actually, I'm going to be serious about this. I'm not going to be as humorous-ridden as I've been in the last couple of topics. The politically correct answer is, in our victim-ridden society, is to blame the owners for all of our problems, okay? But that's not me. I'm about taking personal responsibility for my own actions. And the reason I say I can say my own is that I played college football. Granted, I didn't play NFL. I wasn't good enough, okay, so you can't jump on me for that, Fish. The bottom line is that I still love these gladiators of the NFL, these guys that played in yesterday when obviously medicine was different. Things have gone in leap years recently, especially it seems like it's exponential growth. And I'm sorry they suffer from some of the most horrendous post-career inflictions that you can imagine. But at the end of the day, they chose to make this their career, okay? I played college, like I said, football through my career. I got a lot of emotional and real pain to speak for that, okay? I personally have 2 bulge discs in my back. I have a fragmented disc in my back. I have constant sciatic pain throughout my entire body, which is also defined as neuropathy. It ain't fun, folks. Painkillers are abused by a lot of people because of the choice they make. I could do it. I don't. Trust me, it's about making and taking personal responsibility for your actions. Is this all my fault, these issues I'm having health-wise? Is it my fault, or did I do this to myself? Was it my football coach's fault? It was my decision. I'm the one that decided to take the scholarship to go play college football. I'm the one that decided to say, this is what's going to help me in my life going forward, okay? In going back and looking at some of these players in the NFL, it's $1 trillion industry, granted. I agree that they could do more. And what I mean by more is I think with the increased money, especially from TV deals over the last few years, there are things that they can put in place with these issues that are arising. But in no way, shape, or form are you going to sit here and blame owners or coaches or doctors for what you put in your body. You're the one that decides. And usually, as all the guys I've heard about, and granted I've heard from a lot, they say, I would, no matter what would have happened, if the guy had still said to me, these are the ramifications of you taking this drug, they say all of them, I still would have taken it because I wanted to play. That was what they wanted to do. It's their decision. You don't blame owners and doctors for decisions you make. America.
Okay, so my question is to Paul. And so basically, to strengthen your case, you're saying that these players know this is a rough game. They know the measures that they have to take in the punishment, especially at this level of what their body has to endure. So you have to basically man up and assume responsibility instead of deflecting it onto somebody else saying that you didn't know.
The fact of the matter is that, if you're going to always move responsibility to someone else, I'm sorry, but that's, again, victim mentality. Unfortunately, our society is becoming overridden with that. And, we're not getting into all the politics aspects of this, but the fact is that, it's your responsibility what you put in your own body. And, granted, there's all kinds of crazy medicines out there that these guys were able to take, but they had the idea. They still could have said, I'm going to check this out. And, Fish, you could say, but they had to play. They had to get a paycheck. No, they didn't. They could have chose to do something else. They chose to play football. It's a privilege that they have the option to do if they're given it. They still don't have to do that. A lot of guys retire early, like Barry Sanders. Okay, so Fish, in response to that, do you think that it's a victim mentality? Do you think that the NFL teams owe these players, another option to say, go get a second opinion, or should the players just take the team doctor's word for it at face value and just kind of disregard that and say, okay, if this is what they're saying, then it must be true?
The players already have that option and have always had that option, and that's not what's at issue here. Neither is the fact that they have a back injury or a knee injury or an ankle injury or any of those. Those aren't the problems. The problems are the pain relievers and what they have done to these people's bodies. The taking the tramadol and the Percodan and the Percocet and the Vicodin and how much they gave them to take. And it's what they've done to things like their kidneys. It's not the damage that they got from playing the game. It's the damage they got from trying to heal themselves. And they were told that this is not going to hurt you at a later date, and indeed it absolutely did hurt them. So it's not about that. If it was all about just, the fact that they had to have 16 surgeries on both knees, then I completely agree with you. And I would say, you know what, you're right, that is up to the player to play the game. But once they're playing that game and making their living doing whatever it is they're doing, if they're told to take something because it's going to make them feel better and allow them to play, and that's the only way they're going to get out on that field, and it's not going to have any long-term effects, and they still take it, and it sure as shooting does, and it makes them have to get dialysis and get on a kidney machine or run the risk of losing their life if they don't, then absolutely it's on the team to make sure that what they're giving them is not going to cause that problem later on down the line.
Fish, let me ask you this. Is it more or less what they are told they're supposed to take, or more or less what they told they cannot take? Example, look at Robert Mathis. He cannot take a hormone to get his wife pregnated. Is that more of the issue on your side, or are you still going to stick with your argument?
No, the issue here is the fact that the painkillers that were legal that were allowed by the league for them to take is what's doing the internal damage to these players now well after their careers are over. Like I said, it's not the injuries they suffered while they were playing and while they were being these gladiators on the field. It's what's happened to them after they've gotten off the field and the effects that these things are having on them. Jeremy Newberry, a Pro Bowl guard, has 30% renal function now. That's it, 30% from taking tramadol and Percocet and Vicodin, and that's because that's what he was given by the team doctors and told it was going to be okay.
Paul, you hear Fish's argument with what the doctors continue to say, what they can take or can't take. Your argument was they have the option to do this. Aren't these drugs that the doctors are prescribing, aren't they FDA approved already? So the side effects were already studied?
Of course, and Fish, you're speaking the truth. Okay, I want to stress that you are speaking the truth. These drugs are extremely powerful, and they have ramifications. But last time I checked, so does all of the enhancement drugs. I mean, my God, if you sit there and look at a Viagra commercial, half of it's about how you're going to die if you take it. Okay, so I'm just saying the reality is all of these medications have issues with them, but they still have. Ultimately, you have the choice. You mentioned the word given. given. Here, you're given the opportunity to take this if you want to play. You at no time have to. That's the difference.
All right. Well, we are going to call that a round. We're going to take a short break, and we will be back with our final question. We'll see you guys in just about a minute.
Hi, I'm Derek Marquez.
I'm Cale Lorge.
We are the hosts of the Canusa Sports Desk, and we're here to relieve you of all of your same predictable sports shows that dominate the radio. Let me give you an example of what I mean. Cale, you have this big game coming up. What are your thoughts?
Well, Derek, we're playing a great team this week. We'll have to have a good week of practice and prepare ourselves the right way. If we execute and fight till the end, I think we have a good chance of coming out on top.
Cale, you guys have a tough loss last week. Walk us through it.
Well, Derek, we didn't execute like we had hoped. We're going to put in a great week of practice, learn from it, and try to do better next week.
Coach, what a great win the other day. Walk us through that win.
Well, Derek, we executed just like we've been working on in practice. The guys played tough. I thought our fans were absolutely excellent. It's time to put this behind us and prepare for next week.
See what I mean?
Yeah, go ahead and kick that to the curb and join Derek and I as we show you a side to the athletes that you never thought existed. Real interviews, real answers.
You can find us at www.canusasportsdesk.com. That's CANUSA sportsdesk.com. It's where the magic happens.
And welcome back, everybody. Of course, you're listening to Thursday Night Throwdown. Make sure that you get your tweets in at Thursday Night TD. Tell us who you're siding with. If you're siding with Paul or if you're siding with the fish. Of course, we do have one final topic to get to, and it's always our fun topic. We've got 4 rounds in the books. Chad, what's your analysis so far of the debate that's been going on? It's been pretty heated.
Well, this debate has become American in a Nazi kind of way. I swear, if I hear American in the next round, I'm probably going to scream. I am American. I'm proud to be American. Paul, come on. We got to come up with something different. Fish, come on. No more pity cards allowed. I know we allowed Paul to have his mom come in and help out, but don't let your guard down. You got to come out swinging in this round. It's a tight battle. I expect nothing but the best here, as the ears will come out, as you will see.
And, of course, I think that we're going to definitely get a little bit of, hair pulling, cat clawing in the next round, because this is Thursday Night Throwdown. Of course, I'm your host, Pamela Michelle, joined by Chad the Buffalo Cetera, and we've got our players that are going to get into our pop culture round, and that is going to be our little Mouseketeer Best Female Pop Star round, where, Paul, you're going to get to choose either Britney Spears or Christina Aguilera. Do you want the genie in the bottle, or would you like the schoolgirl from Hit Me Baby One More Time? Which one would you like?
Well, I can't push on the American card here, obviously, but I will go with the schoolgirl card, because that's pretty much another slam dunk.
All right, so you can go whenever you are ready, my friend.
Well, I think it's important that we just say before I get into this about the wonderful and beautiful Britney Spears. Granted, she's not the smartest, sharpest tool in the shed, if you know what I mean. But I will say this about Fish real quick. I have a feeling Fish cried and has cried at basically any movie that involved a woman. I'm sure he cried at the end of Beaches. He probably cried throughout the movie because he is a sensitive guy, and I think that's very apparent. But regardless, I digress. Let's get into the good stuff here. Britney Spears, all right? Everyone knows, came out in that Catholic schoolgirl outfit, Baby One More Time, 1999. Obviously, she came out again with Oops, I Did It Again, which she definitely did in that skin-tight outfit on whatever planet, I think it was Mars. But the point is this. She became an international success. She has, by far, sold more albums than Miss Christina Aguilera. She was, let's just see here. What do I got here? I got, first of all, her Circus concert tour in 2009, highest grossing global concert tour of that year. She's been basically in a 2-year residency the last few years down at Planet Hollywood doing shows. I don't think Christina's been asked to do that. She's basically doing The Voice, which who cares about that? I mean, that's basically just throwing it away. She's got a Grammy Award. She was named the best-selling teenage artist of all time. That's kind of a big deal when you're comparing her a pop teen idol to to the other competition here, which she was in, essentially talking about, and she obviously sold more albums. 100 million records sold worldwide. Christina Aguilera, let me just see here, pull it up. I think it's like around 40 million. Is that correct? Oh, 50. There you go. 50 million records. So she doubles up Christina's records, pardon the pun, record sales. And the bottom line is this. I mean, she's even taken years off. She had some kids. She got divorced. She did some meth. The bottom line is she is what is right. Am I going to say it? Dare I say it? She's right with what's right in America. Britney Spears is by far the winner here. I mean, if you're going to go with the genie in the bottle, well, that's your thing. But I'll tell you what, this is not about picking best singer, and you might do that, Fish. You might try to go with that angle, because guess what? I would say Christina Aguilera is a better singer, better vocalist. But that's not what we're judging here. We're talking about the best of the best star. Who's the best female pop star, okay? Britney Spears, she wins, hands down, done. 6 words. I'll say it to you this way, 6 words. Hit me, baby, one more time. Game, set, match. America.
Fish?
Yes?
And your response for the genie in the bottle?
Well, I've got 2 words as to why Britney Spears can never be the #1 pop star of all time. Those 2 words are Kevin Federline. That should be the end of the argument. But I digress. I will go further on. You said it's not about singing. Of course it's about singing. Christina Aguilera has a 4-octave range. 4 octaves. Britney Spears can barely sing in a 1 octave, and that's proved by the fact that she has lip-synced her way through concerts. Christina Aguilera never lip-syncs. She's singing for real. There's real talent there. There's absolutely no talent. It is purely manufactured and prefab for Britney Spears. Christina Aguilera is pure talent. She can sing, she can dance. She has a star on the Walk of Fame. She's not only that, but she's been represented some of the more wonderful charities. She's been a representative of PETA 4 years. She was honored by GLAAD for taking a stance against gay bashing and against lesbian bashing, because that's what's going on in the world today. What did Britney Spears do? She dropped her kid. She married Kevin Federline. She had another marriage that lasted a week. She's not a role model. She's nothing for anyone to look up to. Christina Aguilera has the talent to back it up. I repeat, 4-octave range, no lip syncing.
All right. Well, Kevin Federline could be a mark, but I don't know if he downplayed Britney Spears' career. Britney Spears did kind of shave her head, though. It's kind of, part of the crazy. But, Paul, I know you like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
How is Lilo, by the way?
Chuck, me and the girl from Wolf of Wall Street, you know what's up, Sam.
I do. That party bus was insane.
Touche.
It definitely was. Paul kind of likes a little crazy, so I'm not exactly surprised that he took the Britney Spears angle. Chad, do you have anything to ask these gentlemen?
Oh, I do, because, Fish, you use the argument of better singer, better role model, and I don't think that Paul will sit there and argue with that. The question is which one is the better pop star?
Bingo.
And stardom is all about records and that. Defend the argument of better pop star.
She's a better pop star because she's real. She's not fake. Britney Spears is fake. She's like a Hollywood movie set. You can just push it over. That's fake. You cannot be a pop star if you're fake. You can if you are real and do what you're supposed to do. You can't go on. I could go on stage and lip sync the same way Britney Spears does, and I'm telling you, it wouldn't make me a pop star.
Paul, Fish's argument was Kevin Federline and meth. Why does that not even play into this whole?
Because it's not about your personal life. It's about what you did as a pop star. I mean, look, I could dress up in a outfit, man, it would be very disgusting and ugly, and call myself a pop star and actually sing, because I'm not too shabby, and I might be better singing than Britney Spears. But would that make me a better pop star? No. That's what this whole argument's about. I go back to record sales. She sold twice as many Again, who cares who she's married to? And by the way, I've read in Us Weekly, Kevin Federline is absolutely a fantastic father. So if you're going to go beat up on this guy, hey, you know what? You can. He wears his hat sideways. You definitely strengthen your argument with the victim mentality. I understand that, Fish. But the fact is, this guy's taking care of the kids. He's doing the right things. And you know what? Britney's doing the right thing because she's out there selling records because she's a pop star. She's a pop icon. She is at I wouldn't say the same level as Madonna, but that's where she goes to. Christina, she's got to go and do the Voice show, and I don't know. I've never watched it. Why would I watch it? It's ridiculously garbage. So,
well, if you're going to bring that up, then you also got to mention that Britney is a host for the X Factor, which is just as bad. That's because the show's been canceled.
That's like the biggest show in the world, Fish. X Factor.
But that's because, but you wait a minute. You can't knock one for being a judge on a show and then come back with the argument that it's okay for the other one too. If they're a judge on one of those weak ass reality shows, it's a weak ass reality show.
You brought it up. I never claimed it as important. I just said yes, she's done it too. Who cares? 100 million.
You did bring it up. You said Christina Aguilera was on The Voice and nobody cared because nobody watched it. You started bringing that up.
I didn't say that. I didn't watch it because if I don't watch it, it's garbage. That's the bottom line. Everyone should know that on this panel, for God's sakes. I mean, come on.
Do you not watch The Voice because CeeLo Green is an automatic channel changer? Is that the reason why?
Hey, I got that on my iPod. I mean, come on. That's a great song.
I'm just asking, what is the automatic channel changer for The Voice? Is it because Christina Aguilera is a judge, or is it because you just don't like Carson Daly? You seem to have a little bit of bitterness towards this show.
Blake Shelton.
If you want, I'm not going to, because he's American, okay? No, here, I'm going to say this.
Cowboy.
The reason I don't watch The Voice is because it's garbage. Honestly, it's garbage. American Idol's gone garbage. It used to be good when this guy named Simon Cowell was on it. That's when it was good. That's the only guy that matters when it comes to judging. Let's just be real here. One Direction, now that's a band. Okay, now that's a band. Everyone here can admit that. Now, we're talking about pop stars. Britney Spears, now that's a pop star. Christina Aguilera, she's hot, she's good in Moulin Rouge, but guess what? That's about it. Go make another movie with Cher, okay?
Well, all right. We do have a few tweets coming in, and one says, hands down, issue is best singer. It's not the best singer. Britney wins best pop star. We have that tweet. We have that tweet coming in. Another tweet is, it's about manufacturing. That's what a pop star is. Christina may have, quote, the voice, but I think that pun might have been intended by this tweeter, but Britney was manufactured into a pop star. So those are the tweets those are the tweets we do have coming in. How do you guys respond to that question? I'm going to put that to both of you. I know that how important is it to be a good singer in your brand? You know, like when they're branding a pop star with all the things that they can do in studio now, and most people do not sing live. How important is a voice when you talk about manufacturing, and do you think it's more about the look, or do you think it's about just your people in general? Fish?
Well, to me, and I've said this all along, being a pop star encompasses everything, including the talent, and there's just absolutely no question in anybody's mind Christina Aguilera has more talent in her pinky than Britney Spears has in her entire body.
Paul?
I think the Catholic schoolgirl outfit would disagree with that comment. But I will say this, okay? The fact is that this is about selling records. This is about being an icon. This is about being a pop star. I admit it. Christina Aguilera's got a better voice, but that's not what this is about. I got a better voice than Britney Spears, okay? That's not what this is about. It's about who crushes it on the record sales list, okay? And here's something for you, okay? We talk about Britney Spears. You know what? Half the time, I'll bet you 3/4 of the time, her real voice isn't probably even heard on those tracks. Because you know what? They are manipulating, using equalizers and all that stuff on the studios. That's not. Again, it's about production value. It's what they can make you. If you have a nice top and your butt looks good and your legs aren't too shabby and you can dance, guess what? You're a billionaire today. That's what it comes down to. What can they make out of you? Christina, obviously, they couldn't make enough out of her, even with those bombing vocals. That's her fault. Unfortunately, it's the media, it's the people, it's us, it's the buyers, it's the public. We made Britney Spears number 1 on this list because we bought twice as many albums. Case closed.
All right. Well, that is going to be... Chad, do you have any further questions before we conclude this round?
Oh, no. I've just got to decide who it is that's going to win Thursday Throwdown.
And with that, guys, you can breathe a little bit. The debate is just about concluded. Score this.
Wow. And it's the way it was going was like watching a tennis match. One side to the other side, a lob and then a hard backhand. I mean, it was just like that. It was shaking each other's hands and spitting on each other's face. But ultimately, it came down to the final round where it became a pop star icon in Britney Spears versus The Voice, Christina Aguilera. And I will tell you, the argument was very strong for Paul. And yes, when you have somebody that sells twice as many albums as the other person, it makes it easier. But Paul, my friend, you made a classic mistake because you went 99 minutes out of 100 minutes in this whole show tonight talking American, and then you said American Idol, the only thing that was ever good about it was somebody from Britain, and that would be Simon Cowell. My friend, that right there was a blow below the belt. It cost you a point. You would have won, but because of that low blow, I call this one a draw.
Whoa. Wait a minute. This isn't Russia. There's no ties in this game.
It is a tie. Pamela, this judge calls it a tie. You, the Sporty Diva, gets to decide tonight's winner.
All right. Well, the way I see it is that that was a good catch, Chad, and Paul had been beating the American angle into the ground. I personally haven't watched American Idol even in a couple of years, even when Simon was still on it, just because, frankly, the whole thing annoyed me by how many bad contestants they showed. So that show, garbage for me. I watch The Voice sometimes on mute just so I can look at Adam Levine. Let's be honest. I mean, that's kind of my eye candy. So Christina got a point for that. So that went towards Fish, just because I do personally enjoy The Voice. It's a little bit tough to go a draw for me, and we do have a few tweets coming in. It says, Thursday night TD announces a draw between Paul and the Fish, but we all know the winner is Paul. So,
and who's that tweeter? I'd like to know who that tweeter is so I can personally tweet back at them.
Okay, that's
Paul, are you tweeting it?
No, Paul is
General
actually
TG?
not. Yes, that is actually. The tweet came from Double OT Radio. Of course,
that doesn't count. That doesn't count.
That doesn't count. Of course, they're going to support their guy. So, Chad, you can obviously tweet Double OT Radio. I do score the first round where I believe, we did have a very strong American-type debate, and I think the way it went is the college football thing actually was sort of my sense breaker. And I do have a tweet. Paul, if you don't mind answering a question from a...
Sure.
Okay. So this question was your personal experiences. When did you play? And who did you play for college?
Yeah,
there was a tweeter that wanted to know that.
I played at McAllister College, 92, 96. So that's my story. It's in Minnesota. By the way, they got the Super Bowl. I'm telling you right now, it's hell on earth in February. Last place I'd want to be. That choice.
Last place the Bills wanted to be in 92 also when they lost to the Redskins. So just had to bring a Buffalo thing up since I am called the Buffalo.
Yeah, this cold weather stuff. Full baloney.
And we did get another tweet from Double Overtime saying even if Paul wasn't their guy, that Paul still won, no joke. I'm going to have to agree with them on that.
In front of your computer.
I personally say don't count those. I mean, I'm not putting those into the argument. I know what I did.
He is not putting them into the argument. And the way I think is that we're going to score this. I'm trying to I actually have notes written down here, guys. I should actually take a picture of this and tweet them.
You should.
I'll
tweet it
some
out.
Music right now.
You should have this scored out, Diva.
I do.
It's not like you've been looking at Twitter and doing the board or anything like that. I mean,
no,
come on. I gave you a raw apple there. I mean, you can't go with me giving you a draw. I mean, really? I served you up.
I think we should have a sing-off. How about James Bond song? I'll do it.
Fish, would you like a sing-off?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Right there. Game, set, match.
American. That's what it was.
Where's my belt? You guys need my address to send it to? I want my belt.
Well, actually, you will actually be able to come back on the show anytime you want. You can play devil's advocate with me sometime if you would like, Paul. You could always do that. I know that you would be fantastic.
Devil's advocate you anytime.
So who's your winner, Pamela? Who's your winner?
My winner, I'm going to say it was 3 rounds to 2, and I'm going to say in favor of Paul.
Oh, yeah!
Fish, you have a 1-1 record. How do you feel about that? Obviously.
I want to know which rounds you think he won other than the Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears.
Okay, I think...
Round 2.
Round 2
Alabama.
he won.
Yes, definitely Alabama.
He won that. Round 4
no SEC bias there at all, huh?
There's no SEC bias.
Just a little bit. I actually...
Sampras over Federer. That was an easy one.
If I have Federer, I have Fish for Federer.
I agree with that one. How about that?
Yeah. I had Fish for that round too. So
I've got Paul winning round 4.
I had Paul winning round 4. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. So that adds up to 3.
I mean, personally, it was even until sort of the last round for me. I mean, I know that Paul made a mistake by saying that, basically the best show is American Idol, and the judge was obviously British on it, but I do feel that a pop star is mostly manufactured and not necessarily talent-wise.
Oh, yeah.
That's sort of where I lie on that.
And Pamela, this is a debate. If you're going to support an argument with a debate for the entire debate, support it all the way to the end. Don't, in trying to save yourself a victory you already had. That's why he lost the point with me. That's why we have a draw.
Okay.
Wow.
That is definitely fair enough.
I feel like it's a split national title.
No, it's just you win on a split decision.
I won the coach's poll. I mean, what's that
you win in a split, as opposed to a unanimous decision. You win in a split decision.
Yes, you got a split decision.
No,
so that means that
I heard. I was 1-0-1. Is it soccer? We can go across the Europe land, and it's 1-0-1. Don't I get points for the draw?
But it's boxing. In order to win a unanimous decision, you have to have both judges. Since you didn't have both judges, it becomes a split decision in favor of you.
There we go.
Okay, I guess I'll take that. Where's my belt? You guys sending it to me? What's the deal? How's that work?
It's in the mail.
Awesome. Yes.
It is in the mail. Paul, you do have a show called, obviously, Double Overtime Radio that I do sometimes frequent. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about it?
Well, I'm actually on a couple shows, but I'll just mention, yes, Double Overtime. It's our flagship show for the Double OT Network. It's on Blog Talk Radio. Obviously, you can find all that information there. In regards to the show, Tim Gardner, Barry Roy, and myself, we talk obviously a lot about the regional sports here in the Seattle, Washington area, Northwest, but we obviously talk national topics, bringing on wonderful guests like yourself, Pamela Michelle. And I have my own show Tuesdays from 7 to 8:30 Pacific time. That is called 12 12for12s. That's 12FOR12S. Same website, 12for12s.com. And that is a 12-topic show about my Seattle Seahawks, the 12th man. So 12 topics for the 12th man. You guys have all heard about that, and it's a fun time. I open the show with a commentary. I have guests from different areas, writers, fans, celebrities. I had Michael Weaver just recently. He was a cop actually on Super Troopers, which I'm sure is one of Fish's favorite movies, and I'm sure he cried at the end. Unfortunately, Michael was great and wonderful and cordial to be on my show with me. He went to the Super Bowl. He got his tickets from Will Arnett. You guys know who Will Arnett is. So,
Is Will Arnett from Saturday Night Live?
No, Will Arnett is from Arrested Development. He's he's
Job.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
So, the Blooms. But anyways, the point is that, that's my show, and it's a real fun time. Obviously, it's all Seattle Seahawks-centric, but if you like football, I'll tell you what, you're going to get all the information you want, weekly topic-wise about the Seattle Seahawks. And, the website's great, too. It's all Seattle stuff, links, everything you can imagine on there is there, obviously with my own interesting commentary.
And what is that? Can you give the website address for us?
Sure, absolutely. It's 12for12s.com. And also, I'm on Twitter at pbizzle. That's PBIZZEL. And Facebook now, even though I really am not a Facebook fan, but I had to join because the brand was growing. And so you can find me at Paul Beyer on Facebook. It's Beyer.
Awesome. Fish, do you think that maybe you might end up going on Paul's show sometime?
It depends. If he invites me and if I'm available, absolutely.
What's your team, Fish?
Buffalo Bills.
Good Lord.
That's also Chad's team.
Hey, guys, I did a special show about Jim Kelly. I did a special show about Jim Kelly, and I had a big commentary talking about Jim Kelly and how much of a hero of mine he was. So he is still. I mean, obviously, and he just finished with his chemotherapy, apparently. So obviously, all prayers for JK. Hashtag.
You're hashtagging.
That's not a joke,
nice.
Pamela.
I know it's not a joke. It's hashtag. It's serious when you hashtag things. It is.
Come on. I didn't mean it as a joke. I swear I didn't.
I know you didn't. I know you were very actually sincere and serious about that.
Yeah, but so you guys can check that out. It's pretty good commentary. It's one of my best, I thought.
Awesome, Paul. Thank you so much for coming on the show with us, and you obviously brought a lot of color, and I knew you would, to the show. You went a little heavy on the America.
Hey, because we are Americans. Come on.
Did Lindsay ask you to do that?
Lindsey Vonn? She's pretty hot, too. I can't believe she's with Tiger, though. What the heck is that all about?
She's American.
Is he?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what it is? Fish, what do you think about that? Do you think, is there a reason why?
I think it's not going to last because the Tiger doesn't change his stripes. He'll be sleeping with somebody else shortly.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. So, of course, I would like to invite you on the show again, if you would be willing. I think that you are a very formidable opponent for the Fish.
Sure. Anytime. Anytime, ladies and gents. You just give me a ring.
Absolutely. Paul, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Everybody make sure you go check out all of Paul's work, and obviously follow him on Twitter. He is a very entertaining, colorful character. I enjoy following him, and I think that you guys will too.
Great job, Paul. Anytime you want to come back on, man.
Thanks, guys. Boomer Sooner. Go Hawks.
Thank you. Have a good one, Paul.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Well, that is actually going to conclude this week for Thursday Night Throwdown. Fish, next week, you're going to be in for quite an interesting night.
Yeah, Nick Ficarelli, as long as he doesn't start blasting on America again, I guess I'll be all right.
Oh, my goodness. No, I think he's going to... I think he's actually really preparing already for this. I think he's
he better be. And he's been off the air for a while, and I'm going to make sure I'm going to keep him off the air.
Oh, he's going to be very rusty. I think him being off the air on his sabbatical is going to be very interesting to go up against you because your skills are very sharp. And we all know that I kind of distract Nick a little bit. I'm a distraction.
Are you going to need somebody else to be in the other corner to keep you from distracting somebody? Maybe a third judge so there's no split decisions anymore? I don't know.
Absolutely.
Maybe do something like that? Oof. The Twitter lines were happening. The punches were thrown. Mickey made a couple good cuts. The Vaseline was all over the faces, but in the end, a low blow cost Paul from sweeping the fish out of the pond. Fish, you played well, my friend. You did very good. I knew you would, so I don't know why. I'm just giving you all kudos because it gets to your head and you might not be able to sleep after the show tonight. But you were a great competitor on your own show, if that sounds any good.
Yeah, well, that's the way it's supposed to be, because we invite anybody and everybody.
And, of course, you can always challenge the fish on Twitter at Thursday Night TD. We have so many guests that want to come on this show, and we are booked up almost till the end of August now.
Which is an absolutely phenomenal. That's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal statement about the work we do and the tremendous listeners we have, and the people who just want to just come on here and just have a blast.
Hey, Pamela, do this. Don't make all the people that want to take fish on be afraid. If things are booked until August, keep them coming. Keep the requests. As president of the Sports Jam Network, I will extend your show and let Fish debate twice in one night if we have to. Fish, get some sleep, my friend. You might have to go 2 times in one night.
I can do it.
You can go multiple times in one night.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what a girl wants to hear.
Family show.
Family show. We're going to do a family show. All I said is stamina is important. That's all I was trying to get at. And if Fish can do 2 battles in one night, I think that's tremendous. And if we have people that want to take him on, the more the merrier. You can also do that at www.sportsinfusion.net. We have a special corner set up for Thursday Night Throwdown, and you can challenge the Fish there.
So make sure you send in your name and where we can reach you. We'll get back to you and set up a time for you to be on the show, and we'll see what happens.
Of course. I think that you did fantastic. I think that we're going to have so many people that are going to want to take you on just because they want to try to get at that brilliant mind of yours. And next week, I'm so excited to have Nick Ficarelli on the show. And the week after, we have former Giant Ron Dixon on the show as well.
Oh, another former NFL player. Unless of course he's going to complain. Unless of course he's going to complain about taking pain relievers or something. Then I'm going to have an issue.
Right, exactly.
You think he'll catch any passes?
Not if he's a DB.
Exactly.
Fish, thank you so much, my friend. As always, you were amazing, and you had so many good points. I know that our contestants are going to be excited to take you on. Chad, thank you so much for sitting in with me. I think it was such a good combination to have somebody else also playing devil's advocate with me.
Absolutely. I think it worked very well, Chad. I know you were. It was very last minute for you today, and we really appreciate you jumping in and doing this. You were absolutely phenomenal.
Well, unlike your opponent next week, I can be off air for several months, and I could still take on the Fish. Unlike Nick, you better eat your Wheaties, you better say your prayers, and you better take your vitamins, my friend, because the Fish is going to come after you. Sports Gym Network versus Sports Chronicle, Boy, I can't wait till next Thursday.
And neither can I. And I'm saying, if you thought it was heated this week, just wait till next week. And of course, the sporty diva Pamela Michelle being absolutely phenomenal as per usual as the judge and doing what she does and controlling it all.
Well, I appreciate that, guys. And make sure that you tune in 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, that would be 5 p.m. Fishy time. Every Thursday night for a new opponent, possibly multiple rounds. And we will see you next week. Thank you so much for Paul joining us from Double Overtime. You can follow him on Twitter at @PBizzle. And, of course, I appreciate everybody who tweeted in during the show. Fish, of course, amazing and brilliant as always. Chad, thank you so much. For Chad the Buffalo Cetera, Andrew Fain, I'm Pamela Michelle, and this was Thursday Night Throwdown. Hope you enjoyed it, guys.
Have a great week, everybody. And Paul, I'm coming back for you another time.